Aaron is a tremendous player, is an understatement, and he makes everybody around him better.
I grew up watching old VHS tapes of the Super Bowls, and so obviously I know about the guarantee and Broadway Joe. Been a while since then. I noticed walking in this morning that Super Bowl III trophy is looking a little lonely. So I'm here because I believe in this team. I believe in Coach Saleh. It's a great staff, but you know I'm an old guy, so I want to be a part of a team that can win it all. And I believe that this is a place where we can get that done. This was a big draw because of the opportunity to be a part of a city that's hungry, that's a team, an incredible fan base that's hungry to win again. The opportunity to be a part of something special here, it's different. When you win for a team like the New York Jets, you go down in history, and there's something special about adding that to your legacy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, actually. The last 6 weeks have been about the most fun I've had in a while, so it's fun to come to work and be excited about what we're doing. I think we're exactly where we need to be right now.
Welcome into Jets Overtime, our training camp preview presented by Honda. I'm your host, Caroline Hendershot, joined by Eric Allen and Ethan Greenberg from the Audi Performance Studio. We got the squad back together because the Jets training camp report date, July 19th, this Wednesday, is just around the corner. And this offseason, the Jets added to their already talented roster by bringing in a four-time MVP quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Next week, Rodgers is set to participate in his first training camp with the Jets after 18 seasons in Green Bay. So, EA, what are you expecting out of the new QB?
Caroline and Greens, this is all surreal. We saw him in a different shade of green throughout the spring, but Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. We know this is already one of the most talented young rosters in football. Now Rodgers came here throughout the spring, and what we saw from him is he still has a chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove, and he has set his sights on getting the Jets another Lombardi trophy. The thing that I like about Rodgers' arrival is not only is he a talented quarterback, as talented as any player that we've seen play in the National Football League, but he knows the offense inside and out. He excelled with Nathaniel Hackett in Green Bay in 2020 and 2021. Green's back-to-back MVP years.
And look, the numbers speak for themselves. In 2020, 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. That is simply ridiculous.
Ethan, you were just talking about that, but what do you have your eye on?
This right here. Realistically, I think that I have my eyes on what can Aaron Rodgers do in practice, because I remember being in Green Bay with EA thinking this just looks so different seeing Aaron Rodgers throw a football, because this is one of, if not the most talented thrower of the pigskin in NFL history. And when you pair him up with a young buck like this, like Garrett Wilson, I think that the offense can take a jump similar to what the defense did from 2021 to 2022, and I think we'll see that starting in training camp.
Essentially, they got a player coach here because this is a guy who knows the system inside and out, and he was quizzing guys on the field and inside the classroom. He's raising the standard here at One Jets Drive.
A huge advantage. But for all of you at home, you can see Aaron Rodgers and this advantage, the rest of the 2023 Jets, at open practices starting as soon as Saturday, July 22nd. Tickets are available for the first 4 practices this Monday, July 17th at 11 a.m. on Ticketmaster. So make sure you get on those quickly, because I am sure they are going to sell out. Now, obviously, all eyes will be on Aaron Rodgers, but I want to hear from both of you. Who are you looking at specifically that is not the new quarterback? EA?
Breece Hall, he was a stud his rookie season. He went down, unfortunately, with the ACL injury in Week 7 at Denver, but he averaged more than 97 yards from scrimmage, had a 100-yard rushing game, a 100-yard receiving game. He's a dynamic weapon out of the backfield. Jets took a cautious approach with him in the spring, but he did register 22 miles per hour at 22 years old. The next step for him, Greens, is going to be cutting, because right now he's got the straight line speed already.
Greens, what about you?
I'm going on defense, and I'm going to go with Carl Lawson because last season, Carl Lawson had 7 sacks. That's the second most in a single season in his career. The most he had was 8.5 as a rookie in 2017. And I find this stat fascinating. He is one of 3 players in the NFL last season to have at least 50 pressures, but fewer than 700 pass rushing snaps. The other 2, Trey Hendrickson and Javon Hargrave, both well-paid, both dominant pass rushers in the NFL.
Caroline, Robert Saleh loves his pass rushers, doesn't he?
He does. He selected another pass rusher in the first round, Will McDonald. That's who I have my eye on. He's going to be learning from guys like Carl Lawson that Ethan mentioned and Jermaine Johnson. So I'm excited to see how much his growth really skyrockets in training camp. Coming up, we're diving into more defense. Where can the top 5 defense improve from last year, and what is their goal? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This episode of Jets Overtime is presented by Honda.
Best year yet. Get it. Last day.
The last 6 weeks have been about the most fun I've had in a while.
Jets practices were jam-packed with action this spring, and after taking a giant leap last season, defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich and other defensive leaders are intent on reaching another level in 2023.
And I think this organization has done a phenomenal job of really refining this roster, getting some key acquisitions in free agency, doing an excellent job in the draft. And then the guys that we have here have been high-level dedication, just them showing up as much as they have and with the correct intent and focus and purpose behind it. It's an exciting time. Like it feels like we made some strides from the defensive perspective last year, but you can feel the hum of they're just kind of scratching the surface.
We can show different things because we trust each other. We can look at different things. We can try different things because we know the type of personnel that we have. We know the type of players that's in our room on the defensive side, and we just have that confidence. So we just try to keep building forward. And like I said before, just having Rodgers on the other side, testing us every single day when we're trying to on every single possession, every single down, every single drill that we do. That's just making us better.
Take what our coach are telling us, our just one thing to get better at and build on that and just come out here and apply what they're coaching us and get better. And then, so, what was a weakness last year for individually for us, we get stronger out here. And then when we do that, it'll be hard to find a weakness as a whole. And then we're just, out there doing our thing and having good games back to back to back, just stacking it up.
That's why I try to be the best version of myself every day, because that's ultimately what I want. Be a Super Bowl champion. It's not just getting there. That's cool. I done that. But just winning it, holding up the Lombardi, and just being a part of history and sharing it with my teammates, man, and my coaches, and then the fans, that'd be everything, man. That's something I visualize and think about and definitely want to do this year.
The Jets believe they can contend for a Super Bowl this year with a talented core that includes defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. On Thursday, the Jets and their 2022 team MVP, who recorded a career-high 12 sacks last season, agreed to terms on a contract extension that will keep Williams in New York for the long term. The Jets defense took a massive step last season, finishing both 4th in total defense and points allowed. Now, Ethan, as you take a look at the defensive stats, what is the next step for this group?
Well, I think it's right here at the bottom, the takeaways. 29th in the NFL. The Jets had a top 10 defense last year, but half of the top 10 defenses had at least 25 takeaways. The Jets had 16. That is the number to keep an eye on because the talent is there. The takeaways will come.
Greens, remember the theme that Robert Saleh started day one of the postseason. That's finish in 2023. Here's the Aaron Rodgers impact. I think the Jets are going to have more fourth quarter leads. They'll be able to unleash the hounds. That means more opportunities in the defensive backfield for Sauce Gardner DJ Reed and company. For the Jets to become an elite defense, they got to close.
Now, sticking with the defense, we all know training camp is full of position group battles. What position group are we looking at on the defense that's going to be the most competitive this year?
Not a lot of holes, which is a good thing, but it's the third linebacker spot because Quan Alexander was there last year for the Jets, no longer there right now. So that means you have guys like Jamien Sherwood, who has 31 career tackles, 16 last year, Hamza Nasruddin, Chaz Surratt. This is a training camp battle, and I think that Jeff Ulbrich has confidence in the inexperience.
Jets also drafted Zaire Barnes there on day 3 of the draft. But I will say this, that so many times right now in the National Football League, you're playing nickel anyways. And the other thing the Jets have going for them, C.J. Mosley, he's a Pro Bowl linebacker at that Mike spot. And then Quincy Williams is a guy flying all over the field. So whoever occupies that third spot, they got great company.
All these defensive battles are going to be good in training camp, but especially the third linebacker. Now, coming up next, we are diving into what the numbers say about new offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett's success as an OC when Jets Overtime returns. Welcome back to Jets Overtime, the training camp preview presented by Honda here in the Audi Performance Studio. Now, the Jets have a new offensive coordinator, a new system, and a new quarterback. The real challenge will be how quickly all those pieces come together this summer.
For a coach, we want everybody to be exactly on the same page, know exactly what everybody's thinking and how they're breathing and running and operating. But the realistic portion of that is these are guys that have never played a real football game together. And we're not going to know until we go out there on Monday night. For us, it's about continuous repetition. It's understanding Aaron and what he sees and how to adjust and how to run, whether it be a route, whether it be a concept. Where we close the gap, only practice can give us that, and only gains and experience.
Overall, it is similar. It is similar to what we've learned these past, this last year. But so just a little nuances to the offense that Coach Hack likes to do and that A-Rod likes to do that I'm trying to catch on to. And I'm really excited, man. I feel like we're gonna have a chance to put some points on the board and do something special.
The biggest thing I'm going into this season with is just being a leader. I'm going into year 6 now. I started off on the end of the depth chart and the practice squad and everything, and now I'm a starter. I have a lot of experience, and I think I can just share that knowledge with other guys. Maybe that'll help them here, maybe that'll help them there. I'm just to encourage guys to bring the team along and just, develop that championship mindset.
It's a new offense, you know what I mean? And the offense he's been in, Coach Hackett, and so just seeing the hold he has on it. I've been around some really good quarterbacks, but just the command that he has of everything is different. And it's great to see.
What excites you the most about the 2023 New York Jets?
The potential that we have. You can't win a Super Bowl today. So right now we're literally just still trying to get the plays down, trying to get timing down, all the little checks, and we're literally still getting to know each other. So it's been exciting to see how good our offense can be just in these last few weeks, and seeing, the players, the receivers, the tight ends, how explosive other running backs can be. It's been good to really just see the potential that we have.
Brees said it best. The potential is there, and there is plenty of room for improvement in these stats. Ethan, where do you think the hiring of Nathaniel Hackett will improve those stats the most?
Well, I don't think it's just Hackett. I think it's really Hackett and Rodgers, because you really have 2 coaches there and a lot of experience. But when you're looking at the numbers, the short answer is all of them. But I think when you really take a deeper dive, passing yards per game, that's going to skyrocket with Aaron Rodgers. And then also in the red zone, we've been talking about finishing this whole show. That's the theme for the offense in the red zone with Aaron Rodgers under center. I think that'll happen as well.
Bottom line, the Jets have elite offensive players at every level. You start at the offensive line, you have Elijah Vera-Tucker, versatile lineman, can play any position. You add the star quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. You have Breece Hall coming back from injury. And oh, by the way, you have Garrett Wilson on the outside. He is an electrifying playmaker. So the Jets have a lot of stars or stars in the making.
True. Now, I'm going to stick with training camp battles again, but I'm going to narrow down the position group for you guys this time. There's a lot of attention on the offensive line. What specific position are you guys going to be looking at?
I think it's center. It has to be, because the Jets re-signed Connor McGovern late in the process after adding Wes Schweitzer. Then they draft Joe Tippmann. That's a lot of versatile linemen there who could play guard or could play center. But when you're looking at the whole landscape, I'm looking at the pivot.
All right, but the whole landscape, you know that Lincoln Tomlinson's left guard, you know Elijah Vera Tucker's right guard. Where everybody else fits, we'll have to see. Dwayne Brown's going to be tough to beat at left tackle. We know that. Green's talked about center. How about right tackle? Because that could be between Mekhi Becton and Billy Turner and Max Mitchell and Yandy Kajust. I mean, the list goes on and on.
And a lot of players returning from injury as well.
You said there were a lot of names on the D-line. There's a lot of names on the O-line as well. So we'll have our eyes on those trench battles throughout the summer. Coming up on Jets Overtime, fans will tell us which Jet is going to surprise everyone the most this season.
These girls have worked hard all year to get to this moment, at this time, this venue. And now is when you lay it all out on the line.
Who's going to get the flag? Who's going to make the catch? Who's going to get it done?
Just keep fighting. Okay, we are a team of fighters.
Throughout the chaos, remain calm. We are the better team. Believe in ourselves. Go down the field, score here, and let's set the tone for this thing.
We're here for a reason. Put them away early.
There are no tomorrows. There's a winner, there's a loser. This is what you put in all those hours. The blood, the sweat, the tears. To be at your absolute best today.
Now she's throwing for the end zone. Wide open, caught, touchdown.
High school girls flag football isn't the next big thing. It already is the big thing. The award-winning two-part docuseries Empower Her is out now. You can find it on the Jets YouTube page or at NewYorkJets.com. It is a must-see. All right, Jets fans, we're very eager to tell us what player is going to surprise everyone this training camp. Ethan, start us off.
Well, Coffee and Jets bat and lead off and hits this one out of the park. Michael Clemens, bigger, faster, stronger, and scarier in year two. Didn't think that was possible. He's 290 pounds, going to play a little more inside. Could definitely see him taking a sophomore jump.
Dylan writes in and gets two Michael Carters. The guy out of the offensive backfield, I think people are overlooking him. He's so dynamic after contact. And Michael Carter II, he often gets overlooked just because Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are so good on the outside.
I love this answer, Joe Tippmann, because one, you have to get the mullet in there. Everybody knows that. Two, when we talk about the Jets offensive line, we often talk about Elijah Vera Tucker or some of the other guys coming back from injury. But Joe Tippmann, debatably the best center prospect in this year's draft, flying under the radar.
Joseph takes Randall Cobb, and Cobb's got that chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. He told me after he signed here that he thinks he can help Nathaniel Hackett's offense, especially on third down and in the red zone.
And of course, we got to include this one. Everyone from Liftoff Podcast. I love that answer. Don't sleep on the Jets this season. They're going to be good. All right, before we go, we want to congratulate two of the greatest Jets, Darrelle Revis and Joe Klecko, who are members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2023 and will be inducted into Canton in August. EA, Ethan, anything you'd like to say to them?
Yeah, mine's real quick. Darrelle Revis, Joe Klecko, well-deserved. Joe Klecko overdue, but better late than never. Tip of the hat to you both. Both the class of the green and white and well-deserved.
Klecko, famed member of the New York Sack Exchange. And Revis was so good, they named an island after him. And coming full circle to training camp this summer, the Jets have a future first ballot Hall of Famer playing quarterback. How about that? Aaron Rodgers.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching Jets Overtime, our training camp special presented by Honda. And remember, don't forget, tickets are available for open practices Monday, July 17th at 11 a.m. on Ticketmaster. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.